Here we go. Okay, we are live on Facebook and we are live on Zoom simultaneously. So, anyway, today we have our latest edition of Rama Katha for all of you Ram Bhaktas and Hanuman Bhaktas and Sita Bhaktas. So, before we start, today we have something one of the most interesting parts of the Ramayana I'm going to be reading. And it's a very interesting, lively part in which Hanuman actually fights off all of Ravana's soldiers and people after he's destroyed the Ashok Grove. So we're going to read this from the Valmiki Ramayana, and then we're going to we'll talk about Ram's appearance, the famous story of Rishi Shringa. First we'll chant to Ram, Sita Ram, Jaya Sita 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 Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya 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 Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Sita 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 Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram. 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 Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram. Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram. Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram. Jai Ramchandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. So tonight we are going to start by reading part of the Ramayana. It's one of my favorite parts, where Hanuman is just devastated the entire Ashok Grove, except for the tree under which Sita Devi is there. And he's destroyed the Rakshasa's temple even. It's not described in the Ramayana whose temple it is, in other words, which deity they're worshiping there. But he's destroyed this whole temple and created havoc. And we're going to read about Ravana's response, who he sends to attack Hanuman. And this is quite interesting. I mean, like most people, I like a lot of action. And this part has a lot of action in it. So, Om Gana Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Urmilitam Gena Tasmai Shigirve Namaha. So, this is addressed to Ravan. One of his assistants says this after Hanuman has destroyed the Ashok Grove. And remember, a lot of this language is Old English language. So one of the first words we're going to hear is, behooveth thee. That means you should do it. Anyway, so try to bear with the Old English that's here. It behooveth thee to inflict some severe penalty on this formidable being. Of course, that's Hanuman they're talking about, who has held converse, that means he's spoken with Sita, and destroyed the grove. O Lord of the host of Rakshasas, who would dare to talk with her, for whom thine heart yearns without suffering death? Hearing the words of the demons, Ravana, the king of the Rakshasas, his eyes rolling in rage, flamed up like a funeral pyre, and in his wrath, tears fell from his eyes like drops of burning oil from a lighted lamp. Then that mighty monarch ordered those titans named Kinkaras, whose strength equaled his own, to seize Hanuman, whereupon 80,000 of those persons speedily issued from the palace bearing maces and iron hooks in their hands, possessing huge stomachs and large teeth, formidable to look upon, filled with valor and martial ardor. They were all burning to lay hold of that monkey. Approaching Hanuman, who was standing at the gate ready to fight, these powerful demons rushed upon him like moths on a flame. Equipped with maces of different kinds and gold-encircled bracelets with arrows bright as the sun, hammers, axes, spears, darts, and lances, they surrounded Hanuman and began their attack. Then he, full of strength and courage, resembling a hill, lashing his tail, began to roar, waving it to and fro and expanding in size. That son of the wind god filled Lanka with his bellowing. On account of the noise of the swishing of his tail and his roarings, the birds began to fall from the air, and he proclaimed in a loud voice, "Victory to the mighty Ram and the valiant Lakshman. Victory to Sugriva, protected by Raghava. I am the servant of the sovereign of Koshala Ram, of imperishable exploits. I am Hanuman, the destroyer of hostile armies, the offspring of Marut. 1,000 Ravanas cannot stand before me in combat when I crush them beneath all the trees and rocks. Under the very eyes of the Rakshasas, I shall destroy the city of Lanka. Paying obeisances to Maithili, depart, my purpose being accomplished." On hearing his shouts, the demons were seized with terror, and they beheld him standing aloft like a great evening cloud. And knowing now that the monkey had been dispatched by his master under the command of their lord, they began to attack him on all sides with every kind of formidable weapon. Surrounded by those warriors, that mighty monkey seized hold of an iron bar that stood near the gate, and lifting it, struck those rangers of the night, and he appeared like Vinata's offspring. Of course, for those of you who don't know, that's Garuda. Vinata is actually the mother of Garuda, carrying away a struggling serpent. Grasping the weapon, that valiant monkey began to destroy those demons moving here and there in the air, as Indra of 1,000 eyes crushed the Daityas with his thunderbolt. Having slain the demons, that heroic and powerful son of Marut, thirsting for combat, stationed himself at the gate. Thereafter, the few demons who had escaped informed Ravan of the destruction of his servants, and hearing that a mighty host of demons had been slain, the king, that's Ravan of course, his eyes rolling in wrath, commanded the son of Brahasta, who was endowed with matchless courage, invincible in battle, to go forth. Of course, Brahasta is the son of Ravan by another wife, and the son of Prahasta is Ravana's grandson, of course. So this is the first relative of Ravan that gets killed. Okay. So, having slain the Kinkaras, Hanuman, reflecting a while, thought to himself, I have laid waste the grove, but I have not destroyed their sacred temple. I shall now demolish this temple. I guess it was a temple to Kumbhi-Nila or some demon that they were worshiping. Thinking thus, the son of Marut, displaying his prowess, bounded to the temple that was as high as the peak of Mount Meru, and scaling that edifice that resembled a mountain, that chief of the monkeys manifested a great effulgence equal to the radiance of the sunrise. Thereafter he began to destroy that lofty sanctuary which shone with a glory equal to the Pariyatra mountain. Assuming immense proportions, the illustrious son of Marut in his intrepidity caused Lanka to tremble, filling it with its roaring, and at that terrifying and deafening clamor, the birds and the guardians of the temple fell to the ground, their senses overcome. Thereupon Hanuman cried out, "Victory to Ram, skilled in the use of weapons, and the courageous Lakshman! Victory to King Sugriva, Rama's henchman! I am Hanuman, the destroyer of hostile armies, son of Marut, and the servant of Ram, king of Koshala, of immortal exploits. When I hurl down trees and rocks, not even 1,000 Ravanas can withstand me in combat. Having destroyed the city of Lanka and paid my obeisance to the daughter of the king of Mithila, my purpose fulfilled, I shall depart." Now, one may question, why is Hanuman bragging like this? Well, he's not bragging because of false ego. He has no false ego. He is bragging to instill fear in the hearts of all the Rakshasas, to make them discouraged, so that later on Ram and the monkeys and bears will have an easier time. Having spoken thus, the colossal leader of the monkeys standing on that edifice emitted a roar, and the hideous clamor struck terror into the hearts of all the Rakshasas. In consequence of that great tumult, 100 temple guards went forth, bearing every kind of weapon, dart, scimitar, arrow, and axe, and surrounded Maruti, and they struck him with clubs and bars and encircled with golden bands. Hurling themselves on that excellent monkey with arrows, bright as the sun, that host of Rakshasas resembled a mighty whirlpool in the Ganges. Wow. Thereat, the son of the wind, the mighty Hanuman, waxing wrath, taking up a formidable aspect and tearing up from that sanctuary a huge pillar plated with gold, which emitted 100 rays, spun it around rapidly with great energy, so that the fire generated from that set the temple ablaze. Remember, he was spinning it so fast that the friction in the air caused the fire. Amazing. Seeing that monument in flames, the leader of the monkeys, having dispatched 100 Rakshasas, resembled slaying the demons with his thunderbolt, and standing in space, he cried out exultingly, "Thousands of leaders of monkeys resembling myself, valiant and brave, are scouring the whole earth under Sugriva's command. Among these, some are as strong as elephants, others 10 times as strong. Some have the energy of 1,000 elephants, and some of a whole herd, and some have the strength of the wind, and a few possess strength that may not be measured. Such are the monkeys, armed with teeth and claws, that in hundreds and thousands and millions will accompany Sugriva when he comes to exterminate you. Then neither the city of Lanka, nor any of you, nor Ravana himself will survive, since they have incurred the wrath of that hero of the house of Ikshwaku." And then we'll read about the death of Jambumali. Okay. Under the order of the king of the Rakshasas, that's again Ravan, we're talking about, the valiant son of Brahasta, Jambumali of large teeth went out bearing his bow. Wearing garlands and red attire with a crown and brilliant earrings, that invincible warrior of immense stature, rolling his eyes, ferociously drew his great bow, furnished with shining arrows, equal to Indra's with a noise like thunder. Then the entire sky and the 4 quarters at once echoed to the sound of the stretching of that bow. Beholding him advance in a chariot yoked with asses. In other words, this chariot was actually pulled by asses, donkeys. Hanuman, endowed with great vigor, emitted cries of exultation. Thereat, the highly powerful Jambumali riddled him with whetted shafts, piercing the face of that leader of the monkeys with a crescent-shaped arrow. His head with one furnished with plumes, and his arms with 10 having iron tips. Struck by those arrows, his coppery countenance, that means face, shone like an autumn cloud lit by the rays of the sun, and his ruddy, that's red, face, stained with vermilion, resembling a red lotus in the sky, sprinkled with drops of gold. Wounded by those shafts, in other words, Hanuman was actually wounded at this particular point, but it didn't bother him at all. That mighty monkey was enraged, and seeing a great rock of vast size lying nearby, he raised it up and hurled it against his adversary with violence, who countered it with 10 of his shafts. Perceiving this feat brought to naught, Hanuman in fury tore up a mighty shal tree and began to whirl it in the air, whereupon the highly powerful Jambumali, seeing that great monkey spinning the shal tree, let loose innumerable shafts, severing it with 4 hours and piercing the arms of that monkey with 5 others, his belly with a further dart, and thereafter piercing him between the breasts with 10 more. In other words, Hanuman was filled with filled with arrows at this point. his body covered with darts. A prey to violent anger, Hanuman, seizing a club, spun it with extreme velocity, allowing it to fall on the huge chest of his adversary, whereupon neither his head, arms, thighs, bow, chariot, his steeds, nor arrows could be distinguished, and that mighty car warrior, Jambumali, dropped to the earth like an oak that has been felled, his limbs and ornaments crushed. Then Ravan, hearing that Jambumali had been slain, as also the powerful Kinkaras, was overcome with wrath. Rolling his eyes and flamed with fury, that lord of the Rakshasas instantly issued a command to that the sons of his ministers, who were endowed with exceeding valor and strength, should go forth to the attack. Then, under the command of that Indra of the Rakshasas, the sons of his ministers, 7 in number, resembling the fire and splendor, set out from the palace, escorted by a large army, furnished with bows, full of energy, skilled in the use of weapons. They, the very flower of warriors, were each burning for victory. Mounted in great chariots, plated with gold, surmounted by banners, yoked to horses, they created a noise resembling thunder. Of unequaled courage, stretching their bows inlaid with refined gold like the flashes of lightning into the clouds, those warriors walked forth. Their mothers, nevertheless, knowing of the death of the Kinkaras, were overcome with anxiety, as also their friends and kinsfolk. And exhorting one another, clad in golden armor, they rushed on Hanuman, who stood erect at the gate. From their thundering cars, they loosed innumerable clouds in the rainy season, and covered by that hail of missiles, Hanuman's body was concealed, as the king of the mountains is obscured by rain. Then that mountain monkey evaded those arrows and their swiftly moving chariots by executing countless skillful evolutions in the air, and appeared like Indra sporting with his archers, sending up a mighty shout which struck terror into the great host. That valiant monkey leapt on the Titans. The scourge of his foes struck some of them, that is he, struck some of them with the palms of his hands and others with his feet. Some he hit with his fists and some he tore with his nails, striking them down with his chest and thighs, while some fell on the earth, and therefore, by the force of his cry, fell to the earth. Those warriors lay dying, and the entire army fled to the four quarters, filled with terror. Elephants trumpeted, and horses fell slain. The ground was strewn with the broken fragments. Anyway, somehow, wait a second. We lost the connection on my, oh, there we go. Hold on. Okay, we're continuing. The ground was, the ground was strewn with broken fragments of chariots, seats, banners and canopies. Rivers of bloods could be seen bowing on the highways, and Lanka re-echoed with fearful cries. Having slaughtered those mighty Rakshasas, that heroic monkey, burning with courage, desiring to measure his strength against the other demons, stationed himself at the gate once more. Learning that the sons of his ministers had fallen under the blows of that great monkey, Ravan, with a darkened countenance, concealing his fears, formed a resolution which he deemed would prove decisive. Thereupon, Dashagriva commanded the leaders of his forces, Virupaksha, Ayupaksha, Durdarsha, Pragasha, and Vasakarna, masters of strategy endowed with the speed of the wind, brave and skillful warriors, to take Hanuman captive, saying, "Ye generals who are full of valor, set out at the head of your troops with your fleet of horses, chariots, and elephants, and take this monkey prisoner. Approaching that dweller of the woods, exercise great circumspection, in other words, be careful, and act with due consideration for time and place. Having regard to his conduct, I do not judge him to be a monkey, he being endowed with extraordinary prowess. I deem him to be a higher being and not a monkey. Perchance he is an emissary created by Indra by virtue of his penances in order to destroy us. Under my command, you have all triumphed over Nagas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Devas, Asuras, and great Rishis. Undoubtedly, they are plotting some treachery against us. Therefore, seize this being by force. O General, let us go forth at the head of a mighty host attended by horses, chariots, and elephants, and take this monkey prisoner. In former times, I have seen monkeys endowed with immense strength, like Bali, Sugriva, the exceedingly powerful Jambavan, General Nila, and others such as Dvidvida. Yet there was nothing alarming in their gait, their energy, their prowess, and their intelligence, their conduct, or their capacity to assume different forms. This, however, is some great being masquerading as a monkey. Even though the three worlds with Indra, the gods, the Rakshasas, and men cannot resist you on the field of battle, great efforts will be needed to lay hold of him. Nevertheless, even seasoned warriors desiring to triumph in combat are not able to defend their life without exertion, for the outcome of battle is uncertain. Obedient to the commands of their Lord, all those valiant Rakshasas, resplendent as fire, attended by their troops, threw themselves in all haste unto their chariots with sharp and pointed weapons, and on to their swift steeds and elephants, maddened. Then those warriors beheld that mighty monkey, shining like the sun that rises with its crown of sparkling rays, and seeing him stationed at the gate, possessed of immense strength and speed, highly intelligent and brave, with his vast stature and huge arms, they were afraid and assailed him from all sides with their dreadful weapons. Then Durdarsha discharged 5 white, iron, and yellow pointed arrows at Hanuman's forehead, possessing the luster of lotus petals, and his head shafts. That monkey leapt into the air, making the 10 cardinal points ring with his cry, whereupon that powerful and heroic warrior Durdarsha, standing in his chariot with his bow stretched, advanced, letting fly 100 arrows at once. Thereupon Hanuman, like unto the wind driving away clouds, intercepted those arrows while coursing in the sky, and beset Durdarsha, the offspring of the wind, expanded in size, emitting loud roars, and thereafter with a great bound swooped on the chariot of Durdarsha with extreme force, like a succession of lightning flashes striking a mountain. Thrown from his car, his 8 horses mangled, the pole and his shaft broken, the warrior fell to the earth, dead. Haribol, Jai Hanuman. Hanuman ki Jai. Actually, I very much enjoy hearing about Hanuman being victorious. And we should all be Hanuman Bhaktas. Oh, actually, is my microphone? Oh, sorry. We should all, sorry, my microphone is off. Yeah, I see that. Sorry about that. That's it. I have broadcasting somewhere else. Okay, you missed some of the good parts. You can hear it on the Facebook later on. Anyway, so he killed this demon Durdarsha. Then Virupaksha and Upaksha, seeing him lying on the ground, waxing wrath, sprang up and advanced on Hanuman, dealing blows with their bases, striking the chest of that long-armed monkey as he stood in space, whereupon, meeting the shock of their assault, Hanuman evaded their arrows, and that exceedingly powerful monkey, the son of Anila, swooped down on the earth like an eagle, there after seizing and uprooting a sal tree, assailing those 2 Rakshasas with blows. That offspring of the wind god slew those 2 mighty and heroic demons. Then, learning that those 3 demons had been slain by the monkey, Endowed with great swiftness, the courageous Pragasha rushed upon him, and laughing scornfully, and the audacious Basakarna, enraged, armed with a spear, also advanced towards him. Then each from his side attacked that tremendous monkey. Pragasha assailed him with a sharp-edged axe, and Basakarna with his spear, and with his body streaming with blood, his limbs lacerated by their blows. That monkey, highly rising sun. Thereafter, that heroic monkey Hanuman, breaking off the peak of a mountain, together with its beasts, snakes, and trees, crushed those Rakshasas, grinding them to dust. And having slain those 5 generals, that monkey proceeded to destroy the remaining Rakshasas. As the 1,000-eyed deity destroyed the Asuras, so did Hanuman. The horses with horses, the elephants with elephants, chariots with chariots, and warriors with warriors. And the pathways were choked with elephants, shattered chariots, and the bodies of the Rakshasas. Having destroyed those heroic generals with their forces and vehicles, that hero, resembling time, paused at the destruction of the worlds, and he rested at the gate. A little bit more we're going to read. The next portion is the death of Aksha. Hearing that the 5 generals with their forces and vehicles had been struck down by Hanuman, the king of the Rakshasas glanced at the youthful Aksha, who, full of martial ardor, sat before him, and that impetuous warrior, armed with a bow inlaid with gold, responding to his glance, leapt up like a flame that blazes forth when fed with clarified butter by the foremost of sages in the sacrificial chamber. And he ascended a chariot, acquired at the price of accumulated sacrifice, plated with gold, dressed with flags, embroidered with pearls, and yoked 8 steeds. Steed is a horse. Swift as thought, unconquerable by gods or titans, surmounting every obstacle, flashing like lightning or superb workmanship, able to travel through space, equipped with quivers, arrows, 8 swords, darts, and lances, in orderly array, bound with golden ropes, shining with its myriad weapons, bearing golden garlands, rivaling the radiance of the sun and moon. Wow. Filling the firmament, the earth and the mountains with the sound of horses, elephants, and great chariots, Akshay, at the head of his forces, advanced on that monkey who was stationed at the gate. Coming before that monkey, Akshay, with the gaze of a lion, in which admiration and respect were mingled, measured Hanuman with his glance, who resembled the fire at the dissolution of the worlds, intent on destroying all creatures. Thereafter, that mighty son of Ravan, because Akshay is the son of Ravan, reflecting on the exceedingly powerful valor of that monkey, his prowess in regards to the enemy, and his own strength, swelled up with pride, resembling the sun at the end of the worldly cycle. Then, summoning up his courage, enraged, he took his stand resolutely in the field, and with concentrated mind challenged Hanuman, who was irresistible in combat, on unimaginable prowess, directing 3 shafts, that's arrows, upon him. Observing that audacious monkey, indifferent to fatigue, accompanied to overcoming his foes and proud, Akshay took up his bow, holding his arrows in his hand, wearing a corselet and bracelets of gold, with marvelous earrings, endowed with martial ardor. Akshay rushed on that monkey, and there was a terrific struggle ensuing, which was unparalleled on earth and struck terror even in the gods and Rakshasas. Witnessing that mighty combat between the monkey and the youthful Rakshasa, the earth cried out, the sun ceased to pour down its warming rays, the wind no longer blew, and the mountains shook. The whole firmament was filled with the sound, and the ocean was convulsed. Then that hero, skilled in directing his aim, fixed his arrows, and loosing them, pierced that monkey in the forehead with 3 steel-pointed winged arrows plated with gold and resembling venomous snakes. Wounded by those murderous darts. Anyway, this thing went offline again. Hold on 1 second. We got to put the other devotees online again. This happens sometimes because we are in Fiji and things are not so, the internet's not so secure. We got several connections here and we're broadcasting to, let's say, all right, give me 1 second. Hold on. Give me a second. Phew. This is a technological problem. Hold on 1 second. Anyway. We'll continue reading for those of you on Facebook here. And then we'll gradually get on the other thing. Wounded by these murderous darts. Whoops. His eyes blinded by the blood flowing from his brow. Hanuman resembled, whoops, keep skipping here. Hanuman resembled the rising sun, having arrows for its rays, beholding that offspring of the foremost of monarchs, with his splendid weapons upraised and his marvelous bow, that valiant counselor of the Lord of monkeys, rejoiced and in his ardor put forth his whole strength. Resembling the sun crowned with its rays as it rises over the peak of the Mandara mountain, Hanuman, inflamed with ire, consumed the youthful Aksha with his forces and his vehicles by his fiery glance. Thereupon, that Rakshasa from his bow, equal unto Indra's, charged with innumerable arrows, let fall a mighty shower of arrows on the foremost of monkeys. Hold on a second, we're ready to join in the other one. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. All right. One second. This is the problem with technology. At the same time. All right, join. Whoops. Okay. Sorry for those of you who are watching on Zoom. We got cut off for the internet got cut off for a second. Okay, let's continue. Thereupon that Rakshasa from his bow, Hanuman is fighting Aksha right now, the son of Ravan. Thereupon that Rakshasa from his bow, equal unto Indra's, charged with innumerable darts, let fall a mighty on the foremost of monkeys in the fight, as a cloud looses its waters on the lofty mountain. Seeing the youthful Aksha in the field, seething with wrath and filled with valor, energy, and strength, furnished with arrows, that monkey shouted aloud in exultation, and as an elephant draws near to a pit concealed in the grass, so did Aksha, in the inexperience of his youth, giving rein to his fury, proud of his valor, approach that incomparable warrior in conflict. Of course, that's an indirect reference to how they catch elephants, which is really easy. You catch an elephant by having a pit in the ground, and you cover the pit with grass, and then you have a female elephant on the other side of the pit, and the elephant walks towards the female elephant, and presto, he's trapped. So Hanuman, struck by the shaft, emitted a loud roar resembling a thundercloud, and assuming a formidable aspect, full of vigor, agitating his legs and arms, churned up in the air. Leaping upwards, that valiant Rakshasa, raining arrows, hurled himself upon Hanuman, and that foremost of Rakshasas, exceedingly skilled, greatest of car warriors, Aksha, burning with courage, covered him with a hail of shafts as a cloud covers the mountains with hailstorms, evading those arrows by darting between them. That heroic monkey, with the speed of the wind, swift as thought, began to arrange the path in the air. Casting glances full of pride on Aksha, who was armed with bow and arrows, burning to fight, and filling the sky with his countless excellent shafts, that offspring of the wind god became thoughtful, and his breast, pierced by the shafts of that youthful and powerful hero, emitted a great shout. Recognizing the skill of Aksha, he pondered on the warlike qualities of that warrior, reflecting. This is Hanuman thinking. This great and powerful warrior, This great and powerful warrior, like an infant son in splendor, has accomplished deeds incapable of being performed by a boy. I am loath to slay one who has shown himself equal to every martial feat. He is high-souled, filled with valor, concentrated, and able to endure extreme hardship in war, worthy of being honored by the great sages, Nagas and Yakshas. His strength and courage lend him a noble assurance, and standing before me, he looks me straight into the eyes. Forsooth, the heroism of this audacious being would shake the soul of the gods and titans themselves. Verily, he is an adversary not to be despised. His prowess increases as he fights. If I disregard him, he will defeat me. Therefore, I must destroy him, for a spreading fire may not be neglected. Reflecting thus on the strength of his foe and his own, that powerful one, endowed with energy, resolved to slay his adversary. Thereafter, that valiant monkey, born of Pavan, that means the wind god, coursing through the air, struck those 8 excellent steeds, the horses, of immense size, capable of bearing a heavy burden. In combat with the palm of his hand, and that great chariot overturned by the blow administered by the counselor of the king of the monkeys, its poles shattered, the shafts riven, the steeds slain, fell to the earth from the sky. Thereupon, abandoning his car, bearing his bow and sword, that warrior leapt into the air, as an ascetic, consequent on his penances, ascends to heaven on leaving the body. Rising into the sky, frequented by the king of the birds, the wind, and the celestials, that monkey, with a single bound, seizing hold of his legs as Garuda catches hold of a snake, with a strength equal to his sires, that means his fathers, spun him around and round, and threw him violently on the earth, with his arms, thighs, and chest crushed, vomiting blood, his bones and eyes pulverized, his joints dislocated, his sinews torn. He fell to earth, slain by the son of the wind. Thereupon that mighty monkey trod his rival underfoot, striking terror into the heart of the king of the Rakshasas, and all the rishis, chakracharas, bhutas, yakshas, panagas, and suras assembled in there with their leader Indra, who gazed with wonder upon the simian, that means monkey, slayer of that youthful Titan. And Hanuman, having destroyed the young person Aksha, whose eyes were inflamed with blood on the field of battle, returned to the gate once more and waited there like death at the time of the destruction of all creatures. And tomorrow night we will read about Hanuman allowing himself to be captured. However, right now we're going to tell one of the other stories before we end this evening. This is the story, of course, of the birth of Lord Ramchandra. So, once upon a time, there was this great dynasty. It is the dynasty coming from Vivaswan, the sun god, the Ikshvaku dynasty. And so the modern descendants of those, let's say, came right before Ram, were known as Katvanga, Dirga, Bahu, Raghu, Aja, and Dasarath. Dasarath, of course, was Ram's father. And Dasarath was called Dasarath because he could fight in 10 directions at once. Or another reason for that was that he could fight with 10 chariots at once. He was a Atirath. An Atirath is a person who's capable of fighting with many Maharats. And if you want to read what a Maharat is and an Atirath is, read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. And it describes, Matirath, Atirath, how many soldiers, horses, elephants they were capable of fighting with. So that was Dasarath. And as we know, Dasarath had 3 wives. He had 3 wives, and Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and Kausalya, and he had no son. He actually had a daughter. For those of you who don't know about this, Dasarath had a very nice daughter. His daughter's name was Shanti. But because he didn't have a son, he wasn't Shanti. He wasn't peaceful. So he had a friend. His friend's name was Romapad, another king in a nearby kingdom. And Romapad wanted to have a daughter. And so Dasarath said, you can have my daughter, because he wanted a son like anything. And of course we understand that sons and daughters are equal. But in those days, the daughters could not become the ruling magistrate because the system in India at that particular time was that the women should be protected. And actually it's quite a nice system, having the women protected. It may not be so politically correct nowadays, but that's life in the material world. So, anyway, Dasarath, he wanted to perform a sacrifice, an Ashvamedha sacrifice, and to get the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was advised by Sumantra, his advisor and minister, that actually you're supposed to perform this other sacrifice called the Putra Kameshti sacrifice. Putra Kameshti sacrifice is a sacrifice that's performed so that someone can have a putra. Putra means the person who saves you from put, or the person who saves you from hell. Tra means like trayate, so putrayate. And so putra, putri, the daughter also can save the father or mother from hell. And so he wanted to perform this sacrifice under the instruction of Sumantra. And Sumantra told him this because he had previously heard from the 4 Kumaras that this was the sacrifice that Dasarath would be performing to have a son. However, there was a problem. And the problem was that you can't have the Putra Kameshti sacrifice performed by a Brahmin who has seen a woman before. Big problem. And that's kind of difficult because actually most of us had a mother. At least everybody I know had a mother. So this was difficult. But there was one particular individual. His name was Rishi Shringa, who basically never saw a woman his whole life. Now, the reason he never saw a woman is quite interesting. His father's name was Vibhontaka, who was a son of Kashyapa, and this Vibhontaka was actually a sage, and he was meditating in the forest, trying to just calm his mind. And so as he was trying to calm his mind in the forest, meditating, the demigods, especially Indra, became very, very upset with him, thinking that he was meditating and performing austerities in order to take over the position of Indra. And so Indra did, as he normally did, and we spoke about this in previous classes, Indra actually sent one of his apsaras, whose name was Harsha, to sort of trick him into having a relationship like Indra did with Menaka and Viswamitra. And Harsha, she came down and she said to this poor Vibhontaka that I love you. And Vibhontaka said, no way. And she said, I'm going to kill myself unless I have a kid by you. And then we gave her some genetic material, which wasn't really her idea. She wanted to have an intimate relationship with Vibhontika. And she just dropped that material into a deer. It was really interesting. And so that deer gave birth to a little boy with horns on his head. That's why he's called Rishi Shringa, the Rishi with horns on his head. Anyway, and so Rishi Shringa lived basically his whole life. Excuse me. He lived his whole life without seeing a woman because his father at that point was really upset with women. He thought, this is it. He's a real male chauvinist, as we say nowadays. And he wouldn't even allow female animals to be in the jungle with him. So he grew up quite innocently and thinking, there's only men. Never knew anything else. Sometimes in Gurukula, they try to bring up kids like that too. It's not really successful for the reason which I'm going to elaborate on. So what happened is that there was this king, Romapad, who we mentioned before. Romapad had made some sort of offense against the sage, and there was no rain in his kingdom. And it was predicted that if he wanted rain in his kingdom, he would have to bring Rishi Shringa to his kingdom. So he was thinking, how can I bring Rishi Shringa into my kingdom? And he came up with a plan. He said, we got to find a very attractive woman to lure him away. So he called for all the beautiful prostitutes in the kingdom. And he said, who can do it? And the most beautiful one said, I am your person. Just give me some money and we'll construct a floating island. We can float down on this floating island, float down the river to where the ashram of Rishi Shringa and his father Vibhontika is, and I'll accomplish my purpose. All right, so then what happened is they got this beautiful floating island that looked like an ashram, floated down, and this one lady, she waited until Vibhontika was away from the ashram and Rishi Shringa was away, and then she went to see Rishi Shringa, and Rishi Shringa was sort of like overpowered with ecstasy upon seeing who he thought was a very attractive brahmachari. And to make a long story short, she ran away when she saw or heard Vibhontika coming back. Vibhontika saw that Rishi Shringa was in Maya, and he understood. He was very careful at that particular point, but a few days later he went away. The lady was able to lure him onto the island, and the island floated back to the kingdom of Romapad, and there was rain in the kingdom. And everybody was happy except for Vibhontika. Vibhontika was coming to the kingdom to curse the king, but on the way to coming to the kingdom, to the castle, whatever, the king had arranged that everybody who Vibhontika met would say that this is the kingdom of Rishi Shringa. So because it was his son's kingdom, Vibhontika couldn't curse Romapad. Okay. And then finally, Rishi Shringa is brought to Ayodhya, and he performs the Putrika Kameshti ceremony, and he comes up with some kheer, and the kheer was divided between Kaushalya and Kaikeyi, and they each gave half to Sumitra, and as a result, the 4 boys were born, Ramchandra, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. And that's where we'll end the Rama Katha tonight. And we can take some, actually I have some devotees in a different place in the world who will be asking me questions, but I'm going to go off of Facebook Live right now. So those of you who are on Facebook Live, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm going to be talking interactively with another group of devotees from New Zealand who will be asking me questions this evening. Okay, so on Facebook, those who are on Facebook, all glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ramchandra,